Listening Library presents The Zodiac Legacy, The Dragon's Return, by Stan Lee and Stuart Moore. Read for you by Feodor Chin.
Prologue. The Australian outback was a lifeless place, a wilderness of red sand and withered trees. Satellite cameras staring down from orbit picked up only the occasional flash of movement, a kangaroo or wallaby darting across the cracked earth. In the midst of this desolation sat a strange high-tech complex of buildings. The satellites couldn't see it, and it wasn't listed on any map, but it was there. From far above, it resembled a clutch of smooth white eggs, half buried in the sand, spread out in a wheel formation around the central dome. In the very center of that dome, the largest one, a man named Malosi stood waiting. He was in his mid-20s, with a wide face and a nervous look in his eyes. He wore a crisp, well-pressed uniform with the insignia of the Vanguard company on its breast. Why? He wondered. Why have I been summoned? Why me? In his hands, Malosi held a strange object. It was about the size of a softball, and almost perfectly spherical, except for a few dents. Its surface was bronze, tarnished and discolored in spots. Malosi looked around. He was alone in a giant, featureless chamber. The ceiling rose up to a central point. The floor was uneven, rising up and down, as if it had once been landscaped. But the only thing covering it was a thin layer of gray sand. Malosi shifted from one foot to another. He brushed lint off of his uniform. He shifted the bronze sphere from one hand to the other. The sphere, he realized. It's warm. He looked up, startled, as a door in the far wall whirred open. He reached for his energy rifle, then realized he didn't have it on him. No weapons were allowed in the main dome. A large, muscular figure strode into the room, action-ready in boots and his own unique uniform. Malosi drew in a sharp breath. The man was Maxwell, founder and leader of Vanguard. "Sir," Malosi said, snapping to attention. Maxwell regarded him for a long moment with cold eyes. "It's just Maxwell," he said. Malosi nodded quickly. "Maxwell." Maxwell stepped forward, crossing the sandy expanse between them. His stare remained focused on his visitor. "Something wrong, Malosi?" he asked. Maxwell had kept a very low profile for the previous year, spending most of his time there in his inner sanctum and in a secret lab. He'd left the running of Vanguard to his lieutenants, and he hadn't pursued any new military contracts. That left Vanguard's field agents, including Malosi, wondering what Maxwell's plans were. But Malosi couldn't say that out loud. "No, sir," he said. "Maxwell, I mean." Maxwell stopped before Malosi. "You've been with us for 4 years. Is that right?" "Yes." "And a year ago, you were up for, let's call it, a promotion." Malosi felt a stab of anger. He tried to control it, but he knew Maxwell had seen his mouth tighten. "Sometimes," Malosi said carefully, "things don't work out. And sometimes they do. It just takes a little longer." Maxwell gestured at the bronze sphere. "I see you have the item I requested." "The operator gave it to me personally." Malosi hesitated. "I have to ask, Maxwell." "Yes?" "Anyone could have brought this to you." Malosi forced himself to look Maxwell in the eyes. "Why did you request me?" A slight, amused smile crept onto Maxwell's lips. "Are you bored, Malosi? Tired of guarding bushes and cacti?" wondering if I've lost my fire, my thirst for greatness, along with the dragon power?" Melosi took a step back. I didn't mean—" "At ease." Abruptly, Maxwell turned and started toward the edge of the room. "Walk with me." Melosi grimaced. He shot a glance at the bronze sphere in his hand, then followed. Maxwell led him past an area where the floor of the room rose up like a hill. "Have you been here before, Melosi?" "Once," Melosi said, still cautious. "It looked very different." "This used to be my garden." An edge crept into Maxwell's voice. "A place of peace and contemplation. An oasis of streams, bridges, and waterfalls. But the Zodiac power ruined all that." "The Zodiac power," Melosi repeated. "Now this place must serve a new purpose. As must we all." Maxwell whirled around, addressing Melosi directly. "But you know all about Project Zodiac, don't you? You were fully briefed." "Last year," Melosi agreed. "I was to be—" He trailed off, unable to speak the word. Melosi had spent the past year trying not to think about the power that had been promised to him, and then snatched away. "The tiger," Maxwell said. "You were chosen to be my tiger." Melosi looked down, not wanting Maxwell to see the anger in his face. "And since that time," Maxwell continued, "you've observed our Zodiac agents in the field. Snake, monkey, rat. You know what they can do. You've seen firsthand the power that should have been yours." "I've been treated well by Vanguard," Melosi said stiffly. "That's gratifying, but irrelevant." Maxwell seated himself on a slight rise. He stared straight ahead, for so long that Melosi began to think he'd forgotten his visitor's presence. Finally, Maxwell said, "I've made mistakes, Melosi." Melosi cleared his throat. That's human." "Human," Maxwell smiled. "Yes, I am human. But the dragon power is not. It's the greatest of the Zodiacs. Orders of magnitude more potent than any of the others. It's very seductive." Melosi sat down next to his leader. "I'm, sure you can handle it, sir." A flicker of doubt crossed Maxwell's face. The weight of the past year's actions visibly weighed on him. His eyes, his face, his whole body looked tired. "I've strayed from my path," Maxwell continued. "When I held the dragon in my hand, I lost perspective. I said and did things that I regret, and as a result, the power was lost to me." "That," Melosi paused, thinking of the tiger power, "that's not an easy thing to live with." Melosi looked away, lost in his own dark thoughts. He wondered how he could miss something so much when he never had it at all. Then he felt Maxwell's eyes on him. When he looked up, Maxwell was staring at him with a frightening intensity. "There is rage within you," Maxwell hissed. "The rage of the forgotten, the lost. But rage at whom?" Melosi said nothing. "At your father, who walked out on you?" Melosi shook his head. "No, Maxwell agreed. "We have ways of finding ourselves. New fathers." Maxwell didn't look away. Melosi felt exposed, as if all his secrets were being revealed one by one under Maxwell's piercing gaze. Then Maxwell reached into his pocket and pulled out a tattered photo. It showed a lean, athletic boy of about 14, with a shock of dark hair and a cocky.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?